All right, friends, for this video, you're going to need your math notebook, the 4 sheets that we sent home for homework, and a pencil. So go ahead and get all that real quick. Go ahead and open up to the next 2 clean sheets, which we're going to title or number 160 and 161. 160, we're going to title Organizing Leaves. 161, we're going to title Stem and Leaf Plot. So go ahead and pause and do that real quick. So we've kind of talked about stem and leaf plot just briefly and just a little when we talked about our countdown to star. So a stem and leaf plot displays and organizes data to compare the frequencies. And then here's an example of it. So we have stem, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Then my leaves that go with 1, I have 2, 5, and 8. My leaves that go with 2, I have 0, 0, 7, 9. My leaves that go with 3, I have 1 and 4. And then my leaves that go with 4, I have 3, 6, and 6. So I want to go ahead and put that in my notebook on page 161. Stem and leaf plot displays and organizes data to compare frequencies, and then the example. So go ahead and pause and do that real quick. So when we were talking, we talked about how the stem represents the tens digit of each data value, and the leaf represents the ones digit of each data value. So if I look up here at my example, if my stem is the tens and my leaf is the ones, then if I have a 1 in the tens place and the 2 in the ones place, then that number is 12. Then I have a 1 and a 5, that's 15. And then I have a 1 and an 8, so that would be 18. So if I have a 2 in my tens place and a 0 in my ones place, 2, 0, then that would be 20. Now I have it 2 times, so that means I have 2 20s. So then the next one would be 27, then 29. So all this is showing me is how to organize it in a different way. So like all my ones that have a 1 in the tens place, all my ones that have a 2 in the tens place, all my ones that have a 3 in the tens place, all my ones that have a 4 in the tens place. I'm just organizing it a little bit differently. So make sure you have that copied down, and then we're going to talk about the key again. Key shows how to read the stems and leaves. So an example would look like this. It would say key, and then it will say like 1, a line, and then a 4, and that equals 14 because the 1 is in my stem and the 4 is in my leaves. So that's my tens place, my ones place. So tens place, ones place, that's 14. So that's how I read the key for a stem and leaf. So go ahead and pause, make sure you have that, and then here's what I want you to get. I want you to get the organizing leaves sheet and this half sheet. So go get that real quick. So this sheet says Mo measured the height in centimeters of bean plants for his science project. Sort the plant height cards and then use the data from the cards to complete the stem and leaf plot. So here we have our key. It tells us that 1 in the stem and 2 in the leaves means 12 centimeters. So here's what you're going to do. You're going to use these cards right here. Now, if you want, you can cut them out and sort them. You do not have to, though, because can you tell what digit is in the ones place and what digit is in the tens place? Yes. So I'm just going to make a little note that my tens is my stem. My leaves is my ones. I'm just going to write that at the top because then it's going to help me sort them. So I'm going to start with my stem of 1. So I'm looking for numbers that have a 1 in the tens place. And I'm just going to put a little circle in all the ones with a 1 in the tens place. So I have 19, 12, 12, and 12. So then I'm going to list them in order from least to greatest. So I'm going to start with 12. Now, how many 12s do I have? I have 3. So that means I have to put 3 2s in my leaves column. It's kind of like on a dot plot where you have 3 dots or 3 X's. I'm going to have 3 2s, and then I'll have my 9 for my 19. So then I'm going to go through. Do I have any stems with a 2? I don't see any. So then I'm just going to leave it blank. You don't want to put a 0 there because then you have a 2 and a 0, which would be 20. So you just want to leave it blank. So let's go through. Now we're on 3. I'm going to do a triangle this time. So I have 32, 39, and 30. So if I'm putting them in order from least to greatest, the first one's going to be 30. So I already have my 3. I'm just going to put my 0, which would come next. 32, and then 39. So here's what my stem and leaf looks like. That's 30, 32, 39. Now, you won't always see commas in between. You'll just see it in a list without commas. Don't tell Ms. Yateman, I know she likes lists with commas. But for math, it's a little different. It's going to look like that. Okay, I want you to finish up the rest of the stem and leaf with the 4, 5, 6, and 7 stems, and then we're going to check it. Okay, so for my 4 stems, I had 40 and 43. I didn't have any for 50, so I just left it blank. Then I had 61, 62, 63, 68. Then I had 74, 77. So then it wants to know how many plants were measured. So here's what I can do. I can say there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So because there's 15 leaves, that tells me I had 15 responses. So 15 plants were measured. How many plants are less than 19 centimeters tall? So I have to find 19. That's 1 and 9. How many are less than 19? Well, that's 1, 2, 3. So 3 plants. And then how did we know? Well, we knew because there were 3 less than that. It showed us on our plot. So there were 3 on the plot less than 19. Then how many plants are over 50? So here's 50. Here's where 50 would be. I don't have one. But then how many were over? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 plants. Then how do you know? Because there were 6 on the plot more than 50. Then down below, how did we organize it? We organized it from smallest to largest, or greatest to least. So pause and make sure you have all that. Fold this page in half and tuck it onto page 160. And then you're going to complete distance traveled and stem and leaf plot on your own. You're going to bring these into class Wednesday morning and we're going to go over them. If you have any questions, just post them below, but definitely use what's in your notebook and what we did on the organizing leaves. Think about tens and ones. All right, have a good night.